With Necropolis League, we will getting a few new transfigured gems. For me, one catched my eyes, even in the trailer, and that's the Tornado of Elemental Turbulence. What's up guys, Bridget here. It looks so cool. After a little theory crafting yesterday on twitch.tv/Pridget2, we came to conclusion this skill has potential to become a very good single target skill. Why, you may ask? Well, first let's see what the gem does. As the description says, converting the physical damage to fire, cold or lightning damage. Also, the tornado will chase down enemies and it's freaking fast in the demo when he fighting against the Uber Katarina. You can see the tornado movement speed. It has a base 4-second duration with a 0.75 hit rate, so this skill hitting 4 times under a second, making an extremely high odded damage effectiveness. Also, you can have 3 tornado at the same time and both can hit the same target. So the skill damage effectiveness will be around 780%, which is very high compared to another skills. Also, don't forget, you can scale the duration of the skill, so you only need cast every 4 seconds or so, depends on your duration. About the quality the gem, we can only assume what the quality is, but if I have to guess, it will be movement speed, so you will ending up around 75 movement speed just like the base tornado, which is pretty fast but not tornado shot or lightning arrows level of clear. Also, one thing worth to mention, the base cast speed a little bit slow, 0.75 second, but you can use for clear unleash in your link, and because the tornadoes can move and chase down targets, they can go off screen if you have enough duration and movement speed on the skill. So in theory, you can cast every 5 seconds and clear packs easily. Of course, this depends on the quality of the skill gem, which is right now unknown. Sadly, there is no way to increase the movement speed of the skill, so if the quality is not movement speed, then it will be a little bit slower to clear with it. Now let's talk about the scaling and what ascendancy you can choose to the skill. The level scaling is the easiest way to increase your damage in a spell build, and Tornado is a spell. Really important note here, the gem has the prismatic tag as well, so you can use the combat focus javelins to force out the element that you want to scale. For example, you can make the skill deal only cold damage, so you will have cold tornado, or you can force out the fire and make fire tornadoes. Alone, this sounds so cool to me. Also, it has cold, fire and lightning tag as well, so any corresponding gem or skill tag increase will increase the damage of the skill. There's a few unique items that you can use with the skill, making much higher damage ability. Let's say you using combat focus javelin to make lightning or fire tornadoes. Then you can use the replica iron pole dagger to increase the skill level by 6 level, because you can use 2 of these. Because the gem has the cold tag and the weapon states you will deal no cold damage, so you can just choose between fire or lightning damage. The main reason I'm so excited about the skill, because you can force out the fire damage, then convert the fire damage to chaos. And what can do with chaos? Yes, poison. What synergizes very well with poison? Let's say together, Pathfinder! Pathfinder! So my theory is this: you will use 2 consuming dark dagger, so you will convert 60% fire damage to chaos, then you can poison with chaos damage, because also the dagger will give you 120% chance to poison with chaos damage, so you don't have to invest poison chance on the 3 at all. Now is the question, what we will do with the rest of the unconverted fire damage? Well, I was thinking using the Infernal Mantle unique body armor. This could increase the gem levels even higher. So with the consuming dark unique dagger and Infernal Mantle, we can get the tornado level to 25 and we can get +1 corruption with the gem corruption, then we can reach the level 26, which is very big damage increase for all spell skills. Also, the chest will convert 15% damage to chaos, so we only leaving unconverted 25% fire damage, which is acceptable. Only big drawback on the chest is the increased spell damage taken on low mana, which is very dangerous modifier on this item, and it's hard to counter. And keep in mind, most of the damage in the game that dangerous to us is spells, so it will make our life even harder. Also, because by default as a Pathfinder, most of the time you will use Malevolence. This will also increase the duration of your tornado by 20% if you don't factor in the aura effect increase from the tree. So your 4-second base duration will become 4.8 seconds without any investment to duration. But you can take the entropy node on the tree for another 10%, and with the increased aura effect you will take charisma and the little node here, and the top of the tree influence. This is another 26% increased aura effect. So your 20% increased duration will become 25% increase. So your tornado duration will reach 5.4 seconds, which is really huge. Also, keep in mind, there are 3 tornadoes that will stock poison on the enemy. Also, the tornado is a hit-based spell, so the Pathfinder Ascendancy node Nature Rest Preserve will help stack Wither on the target, because every 0.25 seconds the enemy will get hit by 3 tornadoes, so the Wither stacking is very easy. So, in theory, poison is a really good option in my opinion. Will be a deal enough damage? Well, that's a question that I can only say anything about this if we getting the gem data for PoE and testing in game how the skill works. So, please don't ask me about the tornado as league starter, because I can't say for sure anything. This is theoretical. I think this will be my second build in the league, and I will share with you my experience, and of course I will try to make the build tonky as possible as always. But if you want to play the non-poisoned variant, then there are a few options as well. The most obvious ascendancy choice is Inquisitor. He have access to high critical strike chance with the Righteous Providence, and he can ignore the monster elemental resistance with the Inevitable Judgment. Also, you can just slap Righteous Fire for extra damage, and you can get recovery pretty easily. Also, because of the starting point of the tree, you access the good elemental damage increase nodes as well. The combat focus setup here is also can be good if you want to use a specific elemental damage type. There are many good possibilities. Also, there is the Energy Blaze setup option, because the build type is just straight up busty, so any new spell will benefit from this one. I want to talk about a little bit about Archmage here. I bet you already asking, why not use Archmage? With Tornado, it would be so good. Well, the reason is Orc tag in the gem. With Necropolis League they changed Archmage. Archmage can no longer support Orc skills, and sadly the Tornado has this tag, so this option is out. Also, you may be thinking about traps with Tornado. Well, it can work, but you can't override the maximum Tornado limit in theory, of course. If you're trying this with a basic Tornado, it will disappear after your second trap is activated. Maybe it will be bugged and you can make more than 3 tornadoes. We will see this one. I can't wait to play Tornado of Elemental Turbulence. I think it has a huge potential to become a good skill. Also, if we can pair with Pathfinder, then the build be very strong. As I said, I will try the gem as my second build in Necropolis League. Also, I want to mention, I will stream all day on twitch.tv/Peugeot2. So if you want to experience how my build is born, or want to see fail Tornado build in live, or you just want to know what item will skyrocket because of my builds, or just want a place to chat and ask questions, then there is a spot for you. Till then, I hope you enjoyed this little tower crafting video. Also, I would like to say thank you for my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks again guys. Thanks for watching. I was Peugeot. See you next time.